Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We might have a little phrasing on my end, but if that happens, it's just a busy time for StreamYard. How are you doing tonight, Liz?
Pretty good. Your outfit's making me want to go to church.
Church. But what kind
Take
of
me to
church?
church.
What kind of church do you go to is the question.
The kind that the building falls down if I walk in, and if I touch the water, it goes. No, I'm just saying it's a little nutty.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I
tonight's
like it.
theme
It's
is religious trauma and that it exists. And what does that mean, spiritual trauma? What do you think?
What do I think that spiritual trauma is?
I mean, I was actually surprised to hear that it's in the DSM-5, like defined. It's a thing. I didn't realize that. What would you say in your own?
See, the first thing I think of when I think of spiritual trauma, I think of warping a religion to hurt someone else, to twist it in such a way that it narrows the field where only certain people can be in it. It makes me think of the Aryan Brotherhood. Only white people can be in it. The Ku Klux Klan, same thing. It's narrowing this field and making it gross where only certain people are allowed in it. And anybody else can basically kick rocks. Well, I'm okay with not being in any of those groups.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still believe that there's a higher power. And that's my religion, is I believe in a higher power.
I like it. I think that's probably a healthy thing to do, right? if we can muster it.
Yep.
So I was wrong. Religious trauma syndrome is not presented in the DSM-5. It's like more of a note. It's not in the ICD-10, but it has been recognized by individual psychologists and psychotherapists as a set of symptoms ranging in severity experienced by those who have participated in or left behind authoritarian, dogmatic, and controlling religious groups and belief systems. Symptoms of this, which I didn't even understand what we had been through until I kind of understood these symptoms a little bit. Symptoms include cognitive, affective, which means like affect, the way we act or behaviors, functional, and social, cultural issues, as well as developmental delays. It can occur in response to twofold trauma. First, the prolonged abuse of indoctrination by a controlling religious community. And second, the act of leaving the controlling religious community. Religious trauma syndrome has developed its own heuristic collection of symptoms informed by psychological theories of trauma originating in PTSD, CPTSD, and betrayal trauma theory, taking relational and social context into account. So, wow, right? So it is something that we talk about in help models. Like, that's why I thought it must be I thought I had read it in the DSM-5, but actually my professor of clinical psychology, actually I had her 3 times, and she's a contributor of the DSM and the DSM updates and stuff. So she gets to give us a little bit of insight into what's coming in next. So I think that's one on the next one. But we're learning about it in our in our education at work right now as current science. So I really thought it would be important to discuss so that we all can be gentle with ourselves if we have religious trauma, right? A lot of our viewers do. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Chad. I'm just looking at the chat now. Hi, Christy. Hi, Sandy. Oh my gosh, this is fun. There's a lot of people here.
We have Paula. We have Pup Groomer.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
hey.
Hey, Evelyn. You guys are awesome. Jamie, thank you guys for being here. We love talking with you. Liz, how did you kind of decide it was religious trauma on top of, different types of trauma and stuff?
For me, it was warping this idea that I believed in to kind of use it to torture someone. The act of disconnection, because it's not a biblical line. It's just something that they do. It's if you're not doing this right, I'm going to take stuff from you. But it's not that kid take stuff where you can earn it back. No, it's that take stuff where it's ripped out of your life and you've just got to miss it from a distance. It's your body. You should be the one deciding who can touch and not touch it. But you know what? If you're ordered to go do an assist, whoever's available is going to be the one touching your body.
Because it's
That's
just a
not,
body. It's not like
it's,
a
yeah, it
male,
is. It's just a
female,
body.
age. Like, it doesn't matter. You're just being in
Yeah.
there
You're
if
just
you bring
supposed to
that up.
lay there and take it. Hey, Rev girl. Hey, retired, Red. But it's like, and then you get uncomfortable. And then at the same time, it's like the only way that you could get love in return or feel like you're getting love is if you keep moving your way up the bridge and you're in good standings and, oh, my stats are in power. You can love me. But really there's no love. It's an emotion. It's an emotion that I didn't see.
You can love me, therefore we learn to produce equals love, or,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have enough love for ourselves sometimes when we first come out and have to curate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've learned what love is. I've received it correctly. I've given it properly. And I'm not giving it away to just anybody. It's something that when I feel someone's earned it, they've earned it. Like you're my sister. Like if you need a kidney, if you need blood, like I got you. You might be a little hyper because I got a lot of rock star in there.
Hey,
But
I know how much you rock star.
yeah, I've been really good. I've been sticking to 2 a day. We're even doing the CalMag.
I'll accept that. And she's drinking CalMag, and I'm drinking
tea.
coffee, so I have nothing to complain about over here.
Because I am trying to do this, lose weight for Denver, because I want to be like, I want that pillow.
Yeah, this is a good one. Shame, control, and blame. That's the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why do we have to walk around with that shame or guilt forever? We don't actually, but we just have to realize that we don't.
Yeah, that's the hard part. The hard part is realizing when you can let go, when you don't have to hold on to something anymore. You can get through it. And I don't mean on the bull baiting. Like I was so good at bull baiting and everything when I was younger, and now as an adult, I'm like, you wouldn't even dare say that to my face.
Oh, so you took the confrontational approach.
Yeah, like you just say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I think there's different reactions to that, because I feel almost sick and tired of the bull baiting. So I just isolate because it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But I do know that that's not really the way you deal with bullies. You just have to deal with it head on. I've learned that over time. But that's a hard one too. And then controlling your emotions once you do become assertive. Actually, I did a class and we discussed assertive communication. And so fight or flight kind of works when we're in anger too.
Yeah.
So either we're going to fight or we're going to flight, right? Or if something's traumatic or whatever. And I am not the person who fights. Usually, it's not
I
like,
don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, no, we're the opposite. But here's the deal: meeting in the middle is called assertive communication, and you're
Mhm.
clear about what you want, but you say it firmly. This is really challenging, but we did, exercises and stuff in class, and this is not a natural state for anybody. You
No,
have to
it's not.
actually teach yourself to communicate that way. It doesn't really feel comfortable, for me at least.
Yeah.
In an emergency too, like you don't want to respond angrily and you don't want to run away, but
Yeah,
you just kind of want to balance.
and that's been my normal modum of operandi is like, oh, like look at the example with my dad. I was ready to walk away because that hurt. That really bloody hurt. And here I am flying from my town or the area that I live all the way down to Los Angeles, meeting a stranger, because at that time we were strangers.
Yeah.
And then going through that horrible situation together, standing in the heat, praying that I suddenly didn't need to go to the bathroom. And then my anxiety getting to me, taking medication. And I was ready to walk. Like, all right, you don't want to be out. You want to be nasty. Like, but then they came after you. So it's kind of like that. It's my message. I think it's my mantras. If they come after you, then they have to get through me.
Yeah.
And I've been through a lot. So I'm just saying, please mind the words.
I like it. We haven't had many people put their foot down for us, especially with this kind of spiritual abuse. I feel like it's really taken from me the ability to have faith in a lot of things because I was always so extremely spiritual. And I loved the spirituality part, but not the Scientology part. So I would really bull bait my mother by going and, I liked it. It wasn't on purpose, but it was her bull bait that I would be like reading teen witch books and all obsessed
How dare
with.
you?
I literally said, if you could be a Scientologist, why can't I be a Wiccan? I was just really, I thought it wasn't that different. It was just postulates and stuff like that. But, that's considered open-minded, which is not allowed. It's illegal.
Yeah. The part that used to crack me up. So when I was younger, and so when I was staff at Celebrity Center, there was a guy that he had just graduated the EPF, and he was like this diehard Scientologist. Like he was just gung ho, and he's like, you can be a Scientologist and Jewish at the same time because I'm a Jewish Scientologist. That my Judaism comes first. And I'm like,
Wow.
I didn't think I'd ever hear someone say that. Like, you're a Sea Org member. Like, that's not gonna last for you.
I've heard that so many times, but it's usually that they're telling you, but they know it's kind of not true. Like, but they make it work in their head, right?
Yeah, it was more along the lines of him coming to an understanding and still keeping who he was.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but man, I will always remember those curls because
it doesn't make sense. You can't do that, but they do tell you it's compatible. They'll say you can be any religion and a Scientologist. They really say that. And it's really like, there's just not a way to make it work if you because even one of the dynamics is religion. So they do say they like it. And they are the ones who are pouring the money into the apologist campaigns for, quote, religious freedom and things like that. But it always ends up being these weird spin-off kind of hate groupy things.
Yeah. And I heard this the other day, do you hate your previous religion? I don't hate anybody. I strongly dislike what they did to me. I strongly dislike the separation that they make families do. But hate is a strong word for me. Hate is one of those words that's like, it's the bottom of the barrel. Like there's no turning back. It's done. So for me, I strongly dislike what they do. I strongly dislike how they warped my head. And yeah, I include my parents in that because I was born into it. But I can say that now because before I couldn't. I was like, no, it's real. It's real. And then people start talking to me about, well, if you think that's real, do you think Noah really built a boat and restarted this family? And let's not even get into that topic.
Honestly, it's just interesting how some people take stories of religion literally and some people take them metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
And how did our people take it, Liz?
That every other religion was BS.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. It's literal. It's
Like,
very literal.
I mean, that's the oxymoron of this whole situation.
It is.
Okay. Here is this religion. And all the second gens and all the people out and all the people that are sitting here screaming on the rooftops, you got to keep your family away, keep your checkbooks away, keep your kids, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your next door neighbors. I don't care. Keep them all away. And then they go, oh, you're persecuting my religious freedom. But then inside, anybody that is not a Scientologist, oh my God, like that religion is disgusting. Oh, it is not even a religion. Like, who believes in that?
It's like the inner circle kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's probably why we get so. I'm gonna do this. That's
There we
probably,
go.
yeah, much more intimate.
I tried to straighten my hair because I have that one curl
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, I like it. It's a little finger wave.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing about the ridiculousness is that you have that inner circle belief where you kind of like, I don't know, my mom lived, and everybody in Scientology loves to feel like inner circle, like included. You got hot goss or something. So I do feel like there's personal opinions that aren't really known by the public, but then there's what we would tell the public. But they did try to enforce, be respectful of other religions. And like, if you're actually by the book, you could say, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. They're respectful, but you kind of can't really mean that if you follow the literal Scientology, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good one, Rev Girl. The weirdness of worshiping every word LRH ever said. I can never get over that. If Ron said
I
it,
used to
it's
hate his
true.
voice.
Yeah, me too.
Like it almost like when I got out, it was like nails on a chalkboard, but it always reminded me of, the anti-smoking commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You also need to pay attention to this or you will be.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. So every time I saw that ad, I was like, man, I don't want to smoke. Because I must sound like LRH.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not very nice of what I just said, but at the same time, when you're a child and having to listen to these for hours. Yeah.
Hi, Sandy. I just changed my mic. Let me know how it sounds. I put it on not auto adjust. Sometimes when I do that, I come out softer.
I can hear you just fine.
Well, it sounds kind of different sometimes for them. They've been saying that for the viewers have been saying that my voice is a little bit softer recently, but I'm sitting very close to the mic, so.
Yeah, I could sit like this, but then it just sounds bad.
I don't want to keep sitting right up here, but
hey.
Yeah. So I did prepare. I printed off some of my favorite ways to figure out if something has to do with thought reform.
Okay.
It's just 8 points from Dr. Robert J. Lifton. And it's the 8 criteria for thought reform. And it's actually really like, I remember the first time I read this post Scientology being like, whoa, you guys already knew this? Like, okay. So feel free to pause me, go like that if you want to talk about something. Because it's not very long, but it's just a little bit of interesting stuff.
I'll just do this. Be like,
I would love that.
live long. Live long and prosper.
Dr. Robert J. Lifton's 8 criteria for thought reform. 1. Milieu control. This involves the control of information and communication, both within the environment and ultimately within the individual, resulting in a significant degree of isolation from society at large. So they did that, right? For Sea Org members, at least.
Yeah.
The mail and stuff and the phone lines. Remember how Jackson said you can't even call 911?
Yeah. Like you can't make private phone calls and things like that. You'll get a letter. Like I can't tell you how many times I got letters from my mom, some of my WOG family, and they would be completely opened. And I'd be like, why? I was just making sure they weren't threatening you. What's my family going to threaten me? They're not.
With freedom.
Like.
Freedom from the cult.
Right? You have a life. We'll offer you lots and lots of money. Like I'll give you $10,000 if you leave right now. Yeah. No, that didn't happen from my family. And if it was going to happen, it was going to happen face to face.
Yeah, I still have like a lot to process from being at PAC last week, honestly. There's techniques that work and techniques that don't. And it's
I'm hoping the Woo-Saw works for me.
The what?
The Woo-Saw.
Oh, the Woo-Saw.
And if the Woo-Saw doesn't work, I'm going to do the Martin Lawrence Woo-Saw.
One of my favorite songs by Jeremiah. He goes, Woo-Saw.
I'm going to sit there and rub my ears and go, Woo-Saw, Woo-Saw, Woo-Saw. And if my ears don't work, I'm rubbing Carrie's like, okay. Woo-Saw.
Yeah, well, last time you brought the Carriotti, and you can borrow Elvis if you need to take a guard.
Right?
Take him down there.
No, she won't let us give him back to you.
That is true. But yeah, I don't know if I can leave you unsupervised with Elvis. I will be at the punk rock festival of a lifetime when we were young in Vegas that weekend. But y'all will be here. And, I'll be watching Elvis on the camera to make sure that Carrie doesn't sneak in. This one's really good. Yeah, it starts with the idea of if it's true for you, it's true. Because that is what everybody is like sold on that idea.
Yeah.
But once you're in, then turns into if it isn't written, it isn't
It's not true.
So true. This is exactly.
I hated that line.
This is the bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
Great point.
If you made an agreement with your parents, like let's say you made an agreement that, hey, if I got these kind of grades, you would take me to lunch. If you did not get that in writing, guess what? It wasn't happening. Because if it wasn't written, it wasn't true.
I, in an attempt for her to not disconnect, mailed my mother an actual art piece that I made that said, if it's true for you, it's true. And once you've lost that, you've lost everything. And I was trying to make a point. How does it go from what's true for you to you're out tech because you choose to use Windex over vinegar? Exactly. Very wonderful point. I love Star Trek references. I do too, Marilyn. So much so because my family
because Carrie still has that work on me that these are not the droids you were looking for.
You know what? I need to sit down and watch the whole thing because my family was really freaking into Star Trek. My uncles and my dad and grandma and grandpa, La Roses, and they make all these references. And there was one that Spock said that was kind of utilitarianism about we must save the most over a few kind of thing. And it really made me realize because my dad always identified with Captain Spock. Like it was his dude. And they all had the haircut even. So I want to watch that and get in that psyche. And I also want to read Mission Earth because it's stupid, but It's
I've
just
got a copy.
interesting. It's
I'll
it's
steal it from my
interesting.
mom.
Okay, you have the 10-part series or like 20-part series or what? Because my father
She's got the whole
freaking
thing,
loved
missioner.
that. Of course she does, because that's our parents' favorite jam. But that's what I'm saying. It's such an interesting kind of psychological study in why they believe this stuff, right?
Because they read one too many Anne McCaffrey books, and they were like, "Oh my God, if it's written, it's true." Hail Xenu.
Well, it was
Let
also
the
the time that Star Trek
little
and Star Wars were right there. Space exploration was new. A science fiction author with a, smart mind. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
Mystical manipulation. There is manipulation of experiences that appear spontaneous, but in fact were planned and orchestrated by the group or its leaders in order to demonstrate divine authority or spiritual advancement or some special gift or talent that will then allow the leader to reinterpret events, scripture, and experiences as he or she wishes. That one is like really, really good, actually.
Yeah.
Because people say seeing is believing.
Mm-hmm. And I hear that and I think of, oh yeah, once you get to the higher OT levels, you can heal yourself. It's almost like you can astral project into another body. Like,
Correct.
I'm just going to drop this one and I'm going to go pick a new one.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I know. But I'm just saying, it's the idea that you could be
now.
like,
no, it is.
I'm not done with this body.
It's very space age. You just teleport almost. I've been involved with directing spirits. I used the word spirits because my brain changes, thankfully, to leave a house and go pick up a baby body at the nearest hospital. Sorry. My homie's calling Jeff. We got Charlie. I haven't talked to Charlie in a while, but he's been so busy. We have all these cool SP friends. We were just telling the SP story. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they do these things that will definitely make you believe that things are mystical. Also, like, when you go to a concert and everybody's in the same vibe and it's kind of like spiritual. You felt that?
Okay, so yeah, at concerts, yes.
And you're like, I mean, for me, it's the first night at Coachella when the sky's going down and you're watching Jimmy Eat World and you're like, like it's almost a spiritual experience, right? So those kinds of things too, when you get large crowds together and then people get a little bit like amped on the energy. It's a really cool thing. It's a religious thing in other areas of the world. They gather like many monks, like so many, to pray for peace and stuff like that. So sometimes people can say that, those types of things where people speak in tongues or whatever could be planned, right? Or whatever. Whether they are or not, we will never know unless a thing is a cult or something, maybe it's freaking real.
Did you ever get creeped out at the
hooray,
hip hip,
hooray? I hate
that
it.
used to freak me out so bad because it'd be like surround sound, and then if you weren't hip hipping, people were staring. Like,
did you all see how I responded like a dog? Like, she literally did it, and I was like, hooray, because I had to, because I thought I was going to get in trouble.
We sat there, and then when the clapping, you're like,
Pavlovian.
And then you're getting louder and louder and louder, and you're like...
That was kind of my point. That event of the war is over, that moment when the balloons fell, and I looked up, and my parents were crying. That was a moment of just pure dedication, and just like, honestly, mystical manipulation. I felt like David Miscavige was literally talking to me, and he was like, look, we've been working really hard. I brought you this gift. We proved it. We proved we're real. And you guys don't have to worry. And I remember everyone just being elated. Right?
Yeah, everybody in there.
How'd you feel? I mean, you were older than I was. You were older than I was. Yeah.
I couldn't understand it. Because I knew in Germany, they didn't like us. So if they
Mhm.
didn't like us, how did we bring down the wall? You know, there was things that weren't making sense to me. Like it just wasn't making sense, but I still did it.
Yeah.
Still smiled, and I don't know.
Did you feel the emotion in the room?
I felt like everybody else had a pass to something and I wasn't part of that pass
Oh, interesting.
because I was not like, I wasn't emotional like everybody else. Again, I kept feeling when I was a kid that I was emotionally broken because here it is, like these people are crying because it's so amazing. And isn't it the most wonderful thing in the whole wide world? And it's such a great day. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And here I was. What is wrong with you freaks? Like, sit down. We've been standing for too long. I got to go to the bathroom.
Well, those were treacherous. I mean, you just gave me a PTSD flashback right now. Oh my God. No.
Where
also,
like you're contemplating just peeing your pants because you can't get up and leave.
The religious trauma is connected with a little disorder called CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, when your development or long periods of time are traumatic and stressful, so there's almost no getting away from it. Like me and Liz, just constantly having flashbacks of being like a small child standing in rows of auditoriums, clapping and listening to men drivel on naval uniforms and things. It's really a lot to take. Here's this one. Demand for purity. The world is viewed as black and white, and the members are constantly exhorted to conform to the ideology of the group and strive for perfection. The induction of guilt and or shame is a powerful control device used here.
That one's absolutely. That should be plastered on my butt. Like, device used to torture, twist, and maim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just
everything, huh? Black and white members are constantly needing to conform to the ideology and strive for perfection. That's Scientology in a nutshell, no?
Yeah. I got to tell you something funny. You might get a huge kick out of this. So obviously, Carrie has been reading everybody's books. Okay, she loves everybody's books. But in I think Catherine's book, she was explaining in detail how to do, like, when you were put in lower conditions and what you had to do and the details behind them.
Yeah.
So Carrie looks at me after she read it and she goes, like, you had to beg for forgiveness from everybody? Yeah, the majority. On a regular basis. Like, you put lower conditions and to move yourself up,
That's not normal, Carrie?
Yeah, what do you mean that's not normal? Of course it is. We do it all the time. Like, it was every other week. Good Lord. And then, all it could make me think is, like, were we weird? Like, does that make us weird? Like, okay, now I know it was weird. But in those moments, I didn't think it was weird. I thought, okay, I'm doing what I have to do. Get ourselves up.
Yeah. It's part of the liability formula in the ethics conditions. You're always expected to have a condition on your personal life, whatever area, multiple areas. You're supposed to keep charts and graphs.
Yep, on everything.
I'm actually going to see the Postal Service this week. That's one of the lines to my favorite songs. I've made charts and graphs that should finally make it clear. And that's a Postal Service line. But I'm like, yeah, that's our life. Charts and graphs everywhere.
So my favorite line from anything, speaking of that, is, I make lists in my sleep, baby. Don't ever quit. I'll never stop. I love that line from the movie.
It's a good one.
Just saying, it's also a really good play.
Yeah. What?
What
is the play?
Rent.
Oh, I'm not a Rent fan. Like, I'm not a...
What?
No, I'm not a musical kind of person. That's all.
But I
have a lot of theater, like, friends who love that.
Yeah, it has one of my favorite songs, you know.
Oh no, I'm
Uh,
frozen.
but at least it's a really good picture.
Oh, is it?
And
I look
I hear you
terrified.
perfectly.
I look
No, your
terrified.
big blue eyes. They're like, "Pow." Like, don't make me get you. It's the
Won't
it's kind
make
of like
me
the
call Daniel.
500,000 miles for friendship, but you know, 500 was it 525,600 minutes?
Uh-huh.
I
love
love
that
that
one.
song.
I
Like,
love that one
that's my
too.
genre. That's my jam. That was a pickup line for years.
I love it. I don't know what is going on with all this freezing lately. I'm gonna have to get a new computer or something.
Probably.
Hold on.
I'm seeing if I can click questions. I can't click questions.
It's kind of reloading though. Oh, there we are.
There you are.
Hi.
Perfect.
Hi. Okay, next one. Confession. Sins as defined by the group, right? So it's not you, it's defined by the group, are to be confessed either to a personal monitor or publicly to the group, which is part of the conditions or ethics formulas when you're trying to reapply for
Yep.
acceptance and ask
To be allowed
and
back into
grovel
the
and,
group.
yeah, get everybody to sign your liability formula. That's what we're used to doing if we have to. I mean, I didn't. I'm a good girl.
Hey,
I was do a lot of liabilities.
I was a good
I'll tell
slave.
you
I don't know
that.
what you're talking about. I was an amazing slave. You want me
Were
to go do
you?
something?
I feel like you were an amazing slave, but also I know what you did and you're not.
Like, you asked me to do it and I did it. Like,
No,
you asked
like,
me
you
to
were
break my
able to
own
be
cardinal rules.
That's true, but you were able to still, like, somewhat, like, you're actually really good because you were able to be so good that you got into situations that were maybe, you know, more VIP that would be fun versus, like, you know, somebody cleaning decks or something.
I was on deck so much that they might as well have named
Were
it
you?
Liz.
That's
Like,
sad.
it,
That's really sad. I'm sorry.
you know, and of course, when you're on decks, you don't get paid. So then people go, hey, when you're finally off lower conditions, they go, hey, you want to go grab a bite at Tommy's? With what money? Like, all of my credit cards are with security. What would you like me to do? Like,
You know that right
I could
across from
flash everybody.
You know that right across from that Tommy's is where I got my first tattoo at 15.
Me too.
You know,
'Cause
mine was this too shall pass. Well, that was my second one, but I needed it young to remember.
I don't like Fireball whiskey, so before someone thinks it's Fireball whiskey, no, I was told that I was never going to be able to play baseball again, and so I was also joining Scientology or the Sea Org, so I knew I was never going to get to play again. So I got a tattoo of a fireball, which, you know, in high school they used to call me Fireball because I could
Yeah.
throw the heat, and so
Yeah.
then I was like, well, I'm just going to get something to remember baseball with. That was many, many years ago, and many, many tattoos since then.
Yeah, I was talking about tattoos today, actually, with a
We still need to get the SP Angels.
obviously.
We're
gonna
and
make
if
Charlie
Carrie's
get one.
listening, I want Carrie's lips. I've never wanted like the neck thing, but like,
Someone said that to me recently.
ooh, that means something because I've never been a neck person, but I'm like, I just want her lips like right here where she gives you little kisses when you're having a bad day.
Aw. That's really sweet.
And I do love that people are calling you Vaboop. I think that's amazing.
You know what?
I am a trendsetter.
Can you have someone send me an outfit? If you're gonna
Right?
keep calling me Baboop, I gotta rock it.
You realize that you're probably going to get a French maid outfit now in the mail. So you might want to be specific on which outfit. Because, you know.
A Betty Boop outfit with pearls and heels so I can, you know, do
I'm
a
still
shoot.
thinking someone's going to send you a French maid outfit.
Well, they might, but it might get used for other purposes, not YouTube.
There you go. Yes, Sandy, it's an amazing nickname because she loves Betty Boop and her hair and everything else. She reminds me of Miss Betty Boop, so I just call her Vaboop.
Boop, boop, be-doop, boop. I'm gonna have to put it. I'm gonna have to for sure get the whole thing, you know?
Yep, French maid right there, French maid outfit, because that's what they had her in a lot.
No, so I was talking about tattoos today, just real quick, with my like surrogate, one of my surrogate parents, who's from the East Coast and like totally different religious background. And they asked me, they said, I remember what you said about tattoos one time. And I just want to ask you, do you think they're masochistic? And I went, because she's like, you said that sometimes when you're getting a tattoo, you do it because it's like a release afterwards. And
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's true. But the thing is it's what I said is, and I've always said this, is that when you're in so much emotional pain, sometimes you need to feel that physical pain to match up with what's happening inside. In my head, that was what was happening. And that's what a lot of people who get tattoos say. Like, and then afterwards you get flooded with the good feelings and all that stuff. But it's kind of a sick addiction to pain, yeah. But it's also beautiful.
Mhm.
So
But it also helps you feel, because I mean, like, I have tattoos everywhere,
yeah.
and where people always said, "Oh, you know, um, that's going to be a painful spot," and I'm like, "Okay." And here I am, like, sleeping on, on the tattoo table, and my tattoo artist wakes me up, and he's like, "You're the first one ever fell asleep getting rib tattoos,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "But it feels
Oh,
so
rib
good.
tattoos are the worst. I
It
have
feels
rib
so good."
tattoos on both sides, and they're the
Hmm.
absolute worst.
Yeah, I
Absolute
have it where
worst.
it's the Serenity Prayer is all down the back side, the entry side of my ribs. And so
Hmm.
it's like spread out, and I have the little, oh, you'll see it.
Well, I had things I wanted to remember forever, and that seems
Hmm.
like what you were doing. I was literally collecting little pieces of wisdom, and then the fact that we weren't supposed to degrade our bodies just made me want to
Right?
degrade my body more. So,
Yeah, I got KR'd for getting it, because of course,
I mean,
like,
I think my mom sent herself to ethics, and she actually no. I will give them props. She exploded. I don't know why this happened. I gotta be honest. She was really upset when she saw my first tattoo, and then she saw a bigger one. Once I went on the arm, she
okay.
turned bright red and started bawling. And I don't see her cry often, right? And she had said it was because I essentially ruined her perfect canvas of perfection that she made, which is sweet. But at the same time, it's only because of the beliefs of the degradation of the body, and that only DBs and sailors and pirates get tattoos, and prisoners and things like that. But she took herself to ethics or session or something and came back and was really nice and apologized for handling it that way, which is funny, right?
Did you
Sometimes
write that down in a calendar? Like, my mom apologized
that's why it's a
to
flashbulb memory.
me.
It's like literally, and doesn't happen super often, but it's always interesting what they pick to like have be a point of like, no, you handled that wrong. You're like, well, because you know that they think it's degraded as hell, but it must be some kind of PR stunt to like trick you into not
My mom
thinking.
cried,
Yeah, right.
and I've seen that woman cry 3 times in my entire life. 3 times.
Wow. Yeah. I
And
can
she
count on
was
a handful too.
so, yeah, when you can count on one hand, I can count on how many times that my mom has cried. And
When it does
it's
say something about why our mothers both cried with tattoos, though. Like if
yeah,
they're not criers,
because I defiled my body.
yeah.
I made it impure. The purification rundown was needed so that I can get out the toxin that I just put in my
No.
body.
After? No.
My mom wanted me to do the purif again so
Because
that I could get the toxins out of my
of
body.
ink?
Yep.
That's
I need
not
to get the
even
toxins out.
Tylenol. Or did you have a lot of surgeries though?
My mom made me go through my knee surgeries with Tylenol, but or occasionally she would give me a CalMag and told me to have a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where it's like she was dead set that I need to do the purif. I need to do it. I need to get these toxins out of my body.
I do have a handout that I think maybe next week we could talk about attachment styles after cult. and why and how some of us end up with the different attachment styles post cult. Because, like you just said, sometimes she does the CalMag, sometimes she
lets me have the Tylenol when I'm
DGAF.
hysterically crying.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
It's how we keep saying we're so lucky. Like,
I'm so lucky. Thank
they
you so
let
much
me
for letting me
have
have
the
a Tylenol.
Tylenol. It's true though, but you know.
Yeah.
Next one, sacred science. So the group's doctrine or ideology is considered to be the ultimate truth beyond all questioning or dispute. Truth is not found outside the group. The leader, as the spokesperson for God or for all humanity, is likewise above criticism. So anytime you get that walking on eggshells with your guru, that means they're above criticism, right?
Yeah. They're on a pedestal. Like, way up there on that pedestal. They could do no wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I do have to say something on that. So LRH had like the worst teeth imaginable. And I am a freak, like every single day.
I know, but why did he put brush your teeth in the fucking way to happiness? I'm always like,
Yeah, and he
dude,
didn't do it.
who told you that? Because is this like a warning to your younger self?
I'm pretty sure it was because realistically, my dad had atrocious teeth and it used to scare me that I was going to end up with his teeth. And so I would sit there and I'm brushing and I'm flossing. Have I had a lot of teeth repairs? Yes. But it used to terrify me that I was going to have like the receding gum line that he had where you can almost see his roots. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I wonder if there's something to that because my father is obsessed with keeping his teeth for the rest of his life, like really obsessed. And a lot of Scientologists are kind of like health nut kind of people, but even though a lot of them aren't, my father still is very healthy, doesn't smoke, eats vegan, all that. He flosses with yarn, Liz, because it's like a special technique where you tie the yarn. He taught me how to do it. And it literally is like some top secret shit where you tie on the floss to a piece of yarn and it actually is supposed to get your like teeth even cleaner. So maybe you both have paranoia from watching that man's teeth for so long. I'm just saying.
yeah, because I'm not putting yarn through my teeth. Like, no. I have a hard enough time doing the dental floss. The idea of like trying to pull out a yarn, I'm gonna be like,
Okay. You might change your mind once you start thinking about it if it keeps your teeth for the rest of your life.
no, because you know what people were saying? You know, a water brush is so much better than a toothbrush. And I tried a stupid water brush and I was like, nope. Negative, Ghost Rider. Give me that toothbrush. No.
Michelle Carpenter, thank you for chilling with Elvis last night. And to everybody who chills with Elvis, he is really enjoying his new celebrity life. If he would
Right?
just stay on camera during his time, but he's a celebrity now and he just does whatever he wants to. But
like,
he's
I'm just beautiful and you're gonna see my butt now.
he
See
was
my
so
butt?
extra sassy last night. He almost caught me like with a tooth on camera. I was like, you are being so Elvis right now.
We just need to get him some little tiny blue suede shoes.
Oh my God. I have so many outfits. You know, I have more than one dresser for the dog clothes, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'm
rescue.
very certain you do.
You've been in my house. He will not let me dress him. And it's
Give
my
him time.
No, I know, but it's already been a long, long time. And so many people who are my rescue friends have sent me these like puffer coats and just really cute things. It's not happening. Okay. Loading the language is another one. So we have our whole dictionary of it, right? The group interprets or uses words and phrases in new ways so that often the outside world does not understand. The jargon consists of thought-terminating cliches, which serve to alter members' thought processes to conform to the group's way of thinking. So I can give you a really good example of what Scientology does. Loading the language. So thought-stopping cliches are things that when we're talking, You know how sometimes you like to hurry up and do something? Like, okay, I'll do it right away, right? And I'll be like, hold on, let's just talk out all the opportunities or options. And maybe we'll both have ideas, and it might be better than like whatever our first idea is, right? Because I have a tendency to rush and do things too.
Yeah.
And I've really like, we have to try to structure, both of us try to structure our stuff so that we could always talk it out instead of rush to action, because our first thing is rush to action. But sometimes that's not like the wisest thing. Sometimes two minds are better than one or whatever, right? So loading of the language is when you have that thought stopping cliche, is that thought of, oh, I'll get to work or whatever. The cliche, the thought, that's the thought stop, but the cliche is that fake word or that phrase. For me, sometimes when people say, you know, oh, well, or everything, I hate to say this, I know a lot of people believe it, but everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it can stop looking at other reasons. Like you could not pull the string if you kind of can accept one thing, right? So in our example, in our religion, labeling something PTS.
Yeah.
So, oh, I got in a car accident today. Oh, they're just PTS. It makes total sense to them because it's labeled and it stops all thoughts.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, were they up late last night working on the org volunteer project and they should have been in bed? Or were they, not sleeping? Are they resting? No, they're just PTS. Are they being abused at home? No, they're just PTS. Like,
just PTS.
It just stops all thought. And that's a loaded language word, PTS. It's something we only understand because it's a concept that involves suppressive people.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget how they like to say, if something bad does happen to you, you did something to pull it in.
Yep.
It's all your fault. Take ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Take ownership of what you did to bring this in. Oh, you got AR'd or SA'd?
Yeah.
What did you do to pull that in? Write up your overts and withholds. Go over and over that one instance in your life, and I want you to go over it till you find where you're over.
And I want to hear an earlier similar time that you did that to somebody, and then tell me again, and then tell me again. I don't care if you have to go back last lifetime, just tell me again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I love how you just did that, because that just made my butthole pucker.
Sorry, but I'm like a trained auditor if I want to be.
Yeah. So it's
I'm not really like a certified one. I'm a co-auditor. Like everyone learns, I did objectives, so I had to audit some men. They were boys at the time though.
Okay.
Sorry, somebody's trying to. I've been getting a lot of people trying to hack into my emails and stuff, and I just got a sign-in attempt. You know how it goes out here in the SP life.
Yeah, we get to do our best and let you guys know what's going on, and then get hacked. Or if we're not hacked, we're, trying not to bring up certain subjects, but, we're not treated as well as we would hope.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to say it over and over again. You come for any of us, you come for all of us.
Well, I think it's important too, because we're in a new climate where the internet is boundless and endless, and we have all these new things with technology to think about. So when someone is really tribe and we are knowing them, like knowing them, that's how we feel. But it doesn't mean that anybody who pops up is going to just immediately go into that category, because there's honestly hundreds and hundreds of former Scientologists, right? Nobody would expect us to automatically be friends with everybody. It's if we hit it off or not. And
yep.
We're always open to connection and stuff too. That's really fun. But we're also really overwhelmed because fighting Scientology is a lot. Also, as working people. Right?
Yes, because we, as much as I would love to say that I have all the time in the world, I love my job.
Yeah.
I love my corporate world. And I do this in what time I have left, and then I have time for my family.
Yeah.
But would I love to do this full time? To be completely honest, I kind of would. If that means getting people out, yeah, I would do this full time. If I won the lottery, Carrie and I have already made that decision that I would do this full time to make sure that everybody that needs to get out would get out. I'd be at every rally, at every experience, because I remember Florida too. I remember the flying bugs and those cockroaches and like, what is with
June bugs or whatever.
why is it that every Scientology story it's cockroaches or maggots?
Because we're hood. But we grew up in hotels. I don't know. It's a weird, like,
I just don't understand.
It's a mix of glamour and cockroaches. So I don't
Right?
know.
But at the same time, we had to white glove so many things. And if those of you that don't know a white glove,
Chicken pick that.
Yeah.
Did it make your butthole pucker again?
But they would take a white glove and then they would run it along the surface. And if there was dirt on that glove, guess what? You failed. Yeah, it was a big fail. Start over.
Palmetto bug. That's what it is. Hey.
Yep. Yeah, the flying bug. But
yes. Hey, everybody.
we'd scrub toilets, dumpsters, like the full works. But for some reason, they picked us in a hood area. So no matter how much we scrubbed or cleaned, they came back the next day. They flocked.
I was thinking today how I just want to go to a hotel. Like, I'm always in hotels. And me and my best friend forever were in hotels because she was traveling for work. And it's because of what Serge says. We were always in the hotels.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's a part of me
very
that
comfortable
knows
in hotels.
Right.
Why are we so fancy?
No, I'm bougie. I'm super excited. Like when I go down to LA, I'm not gonna lie. I had some shit happen to me in the Wilcox, and it wasn't fun. Like that place was horrible. But the fact that they turned it into a 3-star or 4-star hotel, and there's a restaurant on the roof, I'm going there. And I know they're not gonna let me see my old room, but I'm definitely gonna, have an iced tea on the roof.
Bizarre, right?
But it's the little things. It's like that memory's gone. And so knowing that the building is no longer owned by them.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to give it a better memory. Just like going down, I'm going to give it a better memory.
Yeah, it was really, it ended on a better note when I went. It's really a lot though. It's a lot sensory to take in. But like Lara was being really rowdy and making it fun. But I was more worried about the people inside being afraid because of
all the stuff that you get told as a kid, like when people are doing it. Yeah.
I just remember sitting literally right there at the canteen where we're staring and they're literally trying to spray us with a hose basically to get us to leave. Like, not really, but like they're cleaning the street, like the L. Ron Hubbard way, because they got, whatever, spraying it at us. And I'm looking at the canteen right there where you come out from AO.
Okay.
And I just had an interaction with a friend right in front of AO. Well, not a friend, with Laura discussing her life and family and all this kind of stuff. And all the security were on us, right? And we're walking over and I'm just realizing, wow, they're really keeping an eye on the SPs. And that was me and Laura, which is kind of comedy. And she's all, they're keeping an eye on the hot girls. And I was like, no, they're keeping an eye on the suppressive people, but I'll take it. But we were right in front of that canteen. And I remember just going down like the scent of tiger milk and freaking Tina's burritos in the microwave and like top ramen and vitamins and stuff. And then coming out and just sitting there on our breaks and stuff. And so watching people who were walking by back then, I felt like security was protecting me. So then I just felt bad. Like people might be afraid of us because I was afraid of them when I was a child, but we were pretty nice. I don't know what they would be afraid of, other than
You know,
that
it's funny while you
goldenrod.
were the recorded conversation that you guys were having. I posed there for pictures in this dress with little stars on it when my mom was the LRH comm. And she made me do this like stupid Vogue pose
Yeah,
right there.
at the AO.
Mm-hmm. And then on the little bench, that the bus stop bench, had to do a couple poses on that thing. I was dying. I was like, I know where they are.
I like the lion symbolism because it was used a lot, but it is like something we are. They raised us to be lions, so
Yeah, they raised it. Well, they raised it. The funny part is the people that are going to bring them down are the people that they raised. And they're people that they put through hell and back and are still here. There's some of us that aren't here anymore, you know, but we're still here and
that's
we're
why
still
we're fighting
fighting.
so hard.
Yeah, because I'm going to fight just as hard as I can, and if not harder, for those that aren't able to stand here, those that will lose everything if they stand too tall. You know, we have to. We have to be louder than them.
Stand tall, no turning back. Hip hip,
Hooray!
hip hip.
Hooray!
We need
I want
our
you all to
own,
remember that is how it goes. It is hip hip, hooray.
hooray!
Hip hip,
Hip hip,
hooray.
hooray!
We can't have normal applauses like a normal
You
person.
guys were dogs.
We were like literally someone said hip hip and you had to say
Like,
hooray. And then
hooray.
if people were clapping, you had to clap louder. Like, oh my God, oh, they're going to look at me.
Because they do. They look at you. They look at you and they make sure you're clapping and they make sure that you're hip hipping. And I would like, you know what? You just were there before I was because you're older than me. So like, I do remember everyone else. I was 11 and even the cute guys in the class were like hip hip, like all into it. I'm like, hooray. Like I already thought it was really
You're like,
mortifying,
hooray.
but I also thought it was not hot that the guys did that. I was like,
yeah, it was very unique.
It just didn't make sense. Like,
And
why
they didn't
is
like
everybody...
kids to play either. Because I know I got in trouble at events because they would let us out to go to the bathroom. And while we were going to the bathroom, we would sprint down the stairs, up the stairs, around the hall. We would still hear the things going off in there. And we're just like, I don't care. We're playing. And we're running up and down. And then all of a sudden someone would come out and be like, who's your parent? You know, and go ahead, go talk to my mom.
I feel like they like checked us in downstairs in the bathroom and then
yeah, and then they left. Like, deuces, you got my kid.
And then
it's kind of like the babysitters.
I'll be in the fancy bathrooms all night. Like I'll be up and down those beautiful stairs and in that weird, like, you know how when you go upstairs there's that weird like museum in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like,
I remember the ugly wallpaper too.
Yeah, it's actually really cool to, you know, that's not hot. Exactly, Marilyn. That's not hot. Not hot to be like, yes, sir. To a little tiny man named David Miscavige. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you, Tom Cruise. You can. Yeah,
I will never salute a celebrity. To be completely honest, I may joke about saluting. I do. I remember I got the thumb tucked and everything. Yeah. But will I actually do it to someone? I have a new salute. It only requires one finger and it flies. Sorry, it's off screen, everybody. I don't want to get, dinged.
No, you won't.
But yes, it is my flying finger.
These last two things so we don't have to keep.
Well, it's your fault for bringing up such good topics.
I know. We're talking about good things. It's fun. Okay, last two. Doctrine over person. And for anybody who just came in, we're doing Dr. Robert Lifton's 8 criteria for thought reform. So 7, doctrine over person. So a member's personal experiences are subordinate to the sacred science, and any contrary experiences must be denied or reinterpreted to fit the ideology of the group. So that's what we were saying about the
Yeah.
religion. Like, you could be a Christian and a Scientologist. You're like,
You can be Jewish and
sure,
Scientologist,
Jan.
and then they're going to make you choose, because it's going to get to a point where you must choose
You
and
must
choose
choose.
wisely, because this is not Obi-Wan. You don't get to go to outer space. I'm just saying.
You think you do, though. They think
Yeah, but
they're
you're
going to
told
drop
you
the
do.
body and leave this prison planet if they go far enough.
Yep. But yeah. No.
Last one, dispense. Oh, this might be the heaviest one. This is the
Bring
realest
it.
one. This is honestly the realest one. And I try to remind it often. Dispensing of existence. The group has the prerogative to decide who has the right to exist and who does not. This is usually not literal, but means that those in the outside world are not saved, they're unenlightened, unconscious, and they must be converted to the group's ideology. If they do not join the group or are critical of the group, then they must be rejected by the members. Thus, the outside world loses all credibility.
Mm-hmm.
In conjunction, should any member leave the group, he or she must also be rejected. This was all from Thought Reform and the Psychology of Totalism, a study in brainwashing in China, from Robert J. Lifton. And he's did this in 1989.
Who knew that? Like, yeah. See, I hate that. Out of all the things that people can do, I'm never going to tell someone how to think. I'm never going to tell someone how to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're being rude to themselves, like let's say, okay, here, I'll give you an example. Okay. Love the lifeboat. Saw him in here earlier. Love him to death. I listen to him when I'm feeling vulnerable, but he felt vulnerable today. It felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he was talking, it was like, you're an amazing man. You're phenomenal. Like, I love you, boo-boo,
Yeah.
But at the same time, people say things and we're just supposed to, almost like we're supposed to take it. And it's the same concept. It's like people say things like disconnection is the way. And we're just supposed to take it and put a nice little smile on our face. Well, you know what? No, I'm not taking it. He's an amazing man. And if you haven't subscribed to him, please subscribe, because I listen to him every morning. It is my work jam. It gives me a day.
That's a cool show.
Yeah. And then you have all these people that are in here joining us. Guess what? You're joining us. And it's an amazing thing. You're closer to us than our parents are.
Yeah.
And I hate this disconnection thing. I just wish that.
Unless they're secretly watching. Hi, Mom and Dad.
I know my mom, I got her to watch one episode.
I would love if they were secretly watching. I know they're not. They have those like net nanny things.
There's a part of me that thinks that they're forcing my dad to watch it because, oh God, she's putting down my religion. She's destroying it. And realistically, I'm not destroying anything, Dad. I'm trying to get you out. Surprise. But I also want anybody else out. I want them to have a choice, because I can't stand this bloody disconnection. They should have thought of something else to do, and then it wouldn't.
Well, that's the definition of dispensing of existence. Is, are you allowed to be alive or not? Are you worthy of forgiveness? Are you worthy of love? Are you worthy of trust? I do believe that, some things are really over the line. Not that many things, though. Honestly, I work with people of all disorders and criminal backgrounds and people who have caused fear in other people. And, the only way that we can work with that is be there for them so that they feel comfortable enough to talk about it so it doesn't happen again.
But that's what has me so amazed by you as well, is no matter I can call you up and be like, I'm broken. And you'll pick up the phone. I'm just giving you an example, you know.
I know.
But at the
That's
same
cute,
time,
though.
it's like this, we're being there for each other. You guys are all being there for us. You know, Marilyn is the new mom. We have the new brothers. And the trick is that's in the past, and now we need to move forward. I'm not doing disconnection with anybody. I'm just woosah.
You know what? We can love people from afar. I think
Mhm.
hate in our heart hurts us. Like it really does. And we don't have to. I don't know. People were really pushing forgiveness on me. You should just forgive. You should just forgive. It was mostly my outside, like extended family that are all highly religious and just wanted me to feel better. But they were really pushing forgiveness. And I was like clinically depressed. I was like, I'm not forgiving them for pushing me out of their life right this second. Sorry. Like, I don't know what you want from me. But that being said, having that, I don't know that I'll ever really forgive them for it, but I don't have to walk around with that hate. I can just turn it into love by understanding why they do those things and then loving people from a distance or on a limited basis by setting boundaries, right? So if you love somebody but you just know they're not great for you, you can always
You can let them go.
or just see them once a month. Like,
True.
you don't have to disconnect, you know?
Yeah, but it's kind of like a fish. You got to
You
put it
know,
back
you
in the water and let it swim, and you'll come back and feed it and visit.
Yeah, it's not codependency. It's just like, I enjoy your time and we can like do things and then not. Like, you know, there doesn't
Yep.
have to be like disconnection or not, that black
No,
and white.
because that is a horrible word and needs to be erased from everyone's vocabulary.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any form of disconnection. I just believe that, you know, some people work, some people don't. And then you know what? If they're not a good fit in your life as of right now, then it's okay to see them later.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're never going to see them again.
Yeah.
It just means you wish them nothing but the best for right now and until I see you again.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's like literally maybe, I don't know, some of the things that they wanted us to do, I'll go the opposite and I'll be like, I'm never going to disconnect. Like that was kind of my thing. Like, I'm just going to work myself to the bone. I'm going to never kick anybody out again, you know? And that doesn't work either.
No, because I've tried to
It's like
keep
one
everyone in my
extreme
life.
to the other.
Yeah. When you try to keep everyone in your life, that's when you realize that the people that are really bad for you are the ones that you're trying to keep around.
Yeah.
You know, and then realistically, it's okay to let them go. You're not saying forever. You're not saying you're dismissed. You're literally not saying you're garbage, but you're just saying you're not good for me right now.
Yeah.
But if they called you tomorrow, you can pick up the phone. Hey, how's it been? How are you doing? I miss you. You're a human being.
You know, sometimes we have friends that are like really good for us in that time in our life, and we don't have to not be friends anymore. Sometimes we just literally like, oh, hey, how are you? It doesn't have to be like, we used to be so close. Like, yeah, we were very close at that part in our life, right?
And things change.
Yeah. But anyway, back to religious trauma. There is something I wanted to say before we
Bid adieu.
because I do think that this could be a really cool ongoing series about just cult
I like it when you find
recovery.
educational stuff. It makes me feel smart.
Look, this is, do you know how much you do? Tell them how many books I brought to your house.
You bought 12 books when you came up. You brought 12 books.
You counted?
I did, because remember, I had to find a box that would fit them all so that they weren't flying all over your back seat.
I might have done that again on a recent trip and brought like 16 books because I can't travel without my things. I need my references.
That's why you get a newer iPad, woman. We need to get you a newer iPad.
Like written things.
You can still have written things. You can still have written things. You just leave those at home and then you bring your traveling with you.
The iPad?
Yes.
But then you have to buy like a version on internet too, right?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, kind of. You can learn it off internet, but at the same time, there's we'll talk about it offline.
All right, we'll talk about it offline. Until we heal the past, we will recreate it in our future.
Say that again.
Until we heal the past, we will recreate it in our future. So
Yeah.
sometimes internalized anger becomes manifested in chronic pain, and you can sometimes take control of that chronic anger by doing things like blogging, writing, journaling, publishing a book like a lot of our friends do, YouTubing if you want to make an SPTV
I
channel.
vent about everything. I've l- basically laid everything on the line. Like, here you go, word vomit.
It's helpful.
It is. It's very helpful, especially when people react and they have your back instead of what you thought, where it's going to be like,
Yeah.
ew, that was stupid. Like, why did you let that happen to yourself?
Yeah.
At 6, or why didn't you stand up and be brave? Because
Totally.
that's as a kid, and there's no bravery.
Yeah.
But that also reminds me of the sentence, you're doomed to repeat the same cycle over and over again. And each time you're always expecting a different result. It's the definition of insanity, but you'll keep repeating cycles until you get it right.
And you call it cycles because that's what we call it, folks. And it's not
Sorry.
cycles. But I kind of, honestly, it's a phrase that really does work. And when I had a helper at my workplace, I taught them what it meant because start, change, stop is really important. It's a cycle of action. Start, change, stop. And when I say finish your cycles, it's actually really helpful to myself and my brain because I tend to get distracted easily. Do you ever think about that? Like, do you literally think I should finish my cycles? And I'm not trying to, like, I don't think
I do it all the time.
phrases.
If I start doing the dishes,
Yeah.
I have to reload the dishwasher afterwards. I have to complete that cycle of action. Otherwise, it will bother me, and I will sit there in bed going, I could do it in the morning.
It's just easier.
Get up, just do it.
It's just easier to put things off, but then chronic procrastination.
Yep. Otherwise, when I get up, it'll bother me immensely. See how lazy you are? It is true. You're lazy.
Yeah. We're very hard on ourselves too.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, did you have anything else you wanted to go over?
Honestly, that was kind of my cute little quote. I wanted to tell people, let's heal the past so we can recreate or create new futures instead of recreating our pasts, because it's completely possible. I didn't think it was after Scientology because I didn't think that if it wasn't a religion or something spiritual that it would work. But the actual world has kind of normal things to do for these types of things. They understand depression, anxiety, and basic things can help with it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, I wanted to show a couple comments real quick. The gray zone. Keep the Elvis cam at all possible.
Right?
Gives a serotonin dump. Yay! I'm so glad you guys like it. People have really been tuning in to my rescue dog. Well, he's my foster dog, Elvis Presley the Chihuahua. He has a...
He ain't going anywhere, people.
No, he's not, obviously. He has 3 legs. He is sassy as hell. Spicy little nugget who does not like to be looked in the eye. But somebody earlier had said that they were wondering if we could put on some nice music, like sleepy time music. And the only thing about that is that I just have to look into a royalty-free music thing to play. Because I can't keep it not, like I have to mute it because otherwise I'm just talking into the mic while you guys are sleeping and I'm chatting away on the phone and stuff. So I have to play some kind of cool music in the background. If anybody knows how to do that kind of stuff, like plug it into StreamYard, that would be...
Yeah, there's got to be a way to do that.
Yeah, because StreamYard has quite a few mellow beats that I put on, but... You know, it's not.
I said a boom, chicka boom. I said a boom, chicka boom. I said a boom, chicka.
We like to start off Elvis's party like a little, fun. And then Elvis stole my Stevie sleepers. You know what, Denver? I saw you come in at 1:30 and write, "Wow, this is way cuter than my channel." And I was like, I just thought, why don't I just put a camera in front of this dog? He's so adorable.
Right?
And people have really been watching.
I know
it.
Carrie went to watch him yesterday. She was like, "Me, my Elvis fix."
He's just so cute, especially when he's like, I don't know, people are like, at hour 9, he gets up and turns around and goes under the blanket. And I'm like, you guys are really watching it, like the panda cam. Juliana, I saw your comment earlier. Thank you for joining us. You said you're not feeling very well. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, feel better.
And I will check out that. Thank you for the referral. Oh, and Alex knows how to do that as well. Yeah, simulstream. I don't know how to do any of that stuff, you guys, and I don't have the time to learn.
Yeah, that's a little beyond my wheelhouse, but
hopefully I will get these hours going, and we'll continue on our other channel doing things, because we've been monetized a long time over there. We have quite a few hours, but it's all a thing. Hopefully we can just have more time to like give you entertaining and professional content, because we're enjoying it.
yeah, nice conversation with friends. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I do have
Charlie.
Oh, is that Charlie?
Here. Charlie, you called earlier while we were live, and I showed the audience. I was like, Charlie's calling. We haven't talked to Charlie in a while. Oh, good night. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
We're very sorry for your loss as well. We saw that you lost a member of the lifeboat recently, and that is really, really horrible. Sometimes with addiction, we don't win, and sometimes we do. So we got to keep our positives that are far and few between in mind.
I should have worn this shirt today.
I know. Well, guess what? There's something happening soon that... He said, hello, angels.
Yep, from the box. What?
We have a little gift coming for you, Charlie.
We do.
Watch your back. Uh-oh. It was a secret mission he was calling for. Well, we can still talk. I won't play it. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't play it live. But anyway,
no, of course not. Top secret. You're going live next at 7?
I'm going live next on with Ono Nora. We're doing the Dyktastic duo. So I hate to cut everybody short, but if I don't get something to nibble on, I'm a very hangry person. Yeah. So I'm gonna go get something to nibble on. I love you.
I'm leaving too. Hey, this ain't no
don't
party
forget
without
to tip your waiter, waitress. Be nice to everybody in the comments. Remember, we are all human.
Yes.
And until we see you again.
Goodbye. I'm gonna try out this new
outro.
Just for, I don't know. It's not really an outro. Just a little cute video. Everybody come back around 8 or 9 for the Elvis cam. Whenever Liz's stream ends, I'll throw on the Elvis cam.
Perfect.
Okay. We will see you guys later. Bye.